Also because of the truth and common sense and standing up for what is right, and that's what we're doing. And we saw President Trump say fight, fight, fight on that day on J13, and what a huge moment that was for not only his candidacy and to become the president. He already was going to win. You know, you think about it, landslide victories over the past 3 elections, except for the second one. We know what happened there. But anyway, so it's 4:49, Friday, July 4th. So what I'm thinking about is the fact that Carolyn just talked about Waffle House, and the egg surcharge is gone. My wife and I and our baby, we were just at Waffle House like 2 weeks ago. Great. It was fun. We liked it. Hey, waffles taste dang good. And it's good to save some money and have some good eats too. So hopefully you guys are having a good time out there. I'll tell you, I wish I was with you guys out there. If you're watching at an event right now, or maybe you're watching just at a picnic, or if you're not out with anybody and just watching here live, thanks so much for streaming in, because this is a family event. I mean, look at this. This is the great White House. This is the great president, Donald Trump. This is the one big, great, beautiful bill that he's going to sign into law. So we'll bring all of that to you in just a minute. Now, also, 2 days ago, the White House sent out, the communications office sent out to all the networks, including ours, that tonight, or now, in about 10 minutes, at 5 o'clock, the President and First Lady would participate in the military family picnic on the south lawn of the White House. So that's what this is. In the meantime, the President's going to sign the one big beautiful bill at the military family picnic. And on top of that, I'm hearing that there will be U.S. Air Force jets doing a flyover. I haven't confirmed if it's during this or if it's going to be later tonight for the firework display, or both. I'll take a double dip of that. That'd be cool to see the U.S. Air Force just fly over the White House like that. I am leading to that this, while he's signing this bill, that the Air Force will be flying over right here in just a few minutes. So really looking forward to tossing it out there live as it's 10 minutes to the top of the hour.
Witam Was ponownie. Właśnie przed chwilą skończyliśmy program z Sławkiem i z Bronią, ale za chwilę w Białym Domu będzie podpisanie tej wielkiej ustawy przez prezydenta Trumpa, także postanowiłem Wam tam coś tutaj nagrać i przetłumaczyć, ale w tych napisach, które widzieliście na początku. Tutaj ten speaker mówił, że za chwilę ma się to zacząć, ale prawdopodobnie nad Białym Domem przelecą samoloty, te B-2, czy tam jakieś inne w takiej paradzie samolotów, więc przyglądajmy się. Ja przełączę się na te tłumaczenie automatyczne i zobaczymy, no, jak to będzie wyglądało. Jakby się coś działo, no to się po prostu włączę. Co to za ustawa? QM3S. To największa ustawa Trumpa, która wczoraj Kongres przegłosował, która obniża podatki, zwiększa amerykański dług, ale obcina kasę na Planned Parenthood i inne głupie takie programy, które no, niszczyły naszą gospodarkę. Więc to jest ustawa, która klinem wchodzi w demokratów i po prostu obcina im kasę tak naprawdę do manewrów różnego rodzaju, więc nie będą mogli już tak manipulować tutaj politycznie jak kiedyś. Poczekajcie, popatrzymy co tutaj się dzieje. Na razie nic, tu są jakieś reklamy. Więc ja sobie tutaj będę sobie to monitorował. Wiem, tutaj piszecie, że uwolnić Wojciecha Olszańskiego i Marcina Osadowskiego. Tak, słuchajcie, podobno mają ich wysłać na jakąś psychiatryczną analizę. No to jest typowe zagranie typowe zagranie systemu. Psychiatrzy są częścią tego systemu i bardziej potrafią męczyć i terroryzować ludzi niż inni, bo wystarczy ich jakaś tam diagnoza i ich mogą nie wypuścić, nie? Także no, trzeba o nich walczyć. Trzeba o nich walczyć. Ja tutaj nic za bardzo nie mogę zrobić, bo wy musicie to robić, nie? Tam. Ale mam nadzieję, że ich wypuszczą, czy zmieni się rząd i będziemy mogli znowu z nimi rozmawiać. To jest chore, co tam się dzieje w tej Polsce. Słuchajcie, to jest chore. Ja nie wiem, jak tam można funkcjonować. Jest tyle nienawiści, tyle złości, jakiejś walki. U nas tu też to jest, ale to w jakiś sposób jest tak okiełznane, nie? To nie wychodzi poza pewne granice. No, mam nadzieję, że wyjdzie, że Trump zacznie aresztowania, bo nie wiem, czy widzieliście, ja zaraz wam może pokażę tutaj taki wywiad, ja będę to monitorował, co się dzieje, ale wywiad Alexa Jonesa wczoraj z generałem Flynnem. Ja tu patrzę na innym monitorze, jak coś się dzieje. Słuchajcie, może to wam pokażę na moment ten wywiad. Muszę przyciszyć. No, generał Flynn mówi, że teraz jest ruch Trumpa na aresztowania. Nie będzie lepszego momentu. To jest po prostu ten moment. Jak Trump tego nie zrobi, to znaczy, że jest jednym z nich. Nie? Więc posłuchajmy.
The lines of, look, we just crushed the Iranian nuclear program and set them back 10 years, let's say. I want this team to crush the deep state just like we just crushed the Iranian nuclear program. But I want the setback to be forever.
Coś się dzieje pod Białym Domem. On tutaj mówi, że teraz właśnie zniszczyliśmy Iran i teraz powinniśmy zmiażdżyć deep state, czyli ten deep state, bo nie będzie lepszego czasu. Ale sorry, przerzućmy się do White House, bo coś się dzieje, dobra?
Ladies and gentlemen, under the direction of Lieutenant Colonel Ryan Nowlin, please welcome the President's own United States Marine Band.
All right, so it's 5 o'clock Eastern time right now as the military picnic there will be taking place any minute from now as we await President Trump and the First Lady Melania Trump. So going to be quite the event there. We'll bring it to you live in its entirety, of course. Beautiful to hear from the Marine Band. If you've ever gotten a chance to actually see this is pretty awesome stuff because I believe it's not too far from the White House there. You can actually go and watch the U.S. Marine Band, and they are awesome. And it's a really cool event there. They do all sorts of cool things there at that event. So great to see the Marine Band there outside the White House as you're looking live. Various vantage points, of course, of the 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. And again, I believe that the U.S. Air Force, some of the jets will be flying right over during this military picnic. This is going to be a military family picnic that just is kicking off right now. As we're standing by for the leader of the free world, the commander-in-chief himself, President Trump, and his wife, the First Lady of the United States, Melania Trump. So this is going to be great to watch. And I know that a lot of you are watching right now on various sites right now. So hello to you. Thanks so much for streaming with us here on Right Side. And, you know, once today is wrapped up, and when we see even tonight at, it's now 8 o'clock Eastern that will be live for the firework display. The president will be in attendance there outside the White House with the First Lady. You know, we look into the weekend, right? Saturday and Sunday, and if there's no breaking news, then, you know, hopefully it'll be just a nice weekend. But as soon as Monday rolls around, our cameras keep on going. We have the fact that the Prime Minister of Israel, Benjamin Netanyahu, will be at the White House on Monday. So we'll have live coverage of that. Robert McNeely will be in studio for that on Monday. I'll return to the studio on Tuesday morning. And just, you know, sometimes we see that there's a press briefing from Carolyn Levitt, or if there's an executive order signing at the Oval Office, or if there's a press conference with the State Department or the Department of Defense, and just really following the news that's coming out of 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue and any other stories that are out there that we monitor here at the network, including just the other day, that was awesome to see President Trump down in Florida at Alligator Alcatraz as he was touring that new facility for criminal illegal aliens when it comes to housing, processing, and deporting those criminal illegal aliens. There's an airport right next to the facility. And then just the other week in Harper's Ferry, West Virginia, a shout out to those of you from West Virginia and Oklahoma. I'll give you a reason why there's a shout out there in a second. But in Harper's Ferry, West Virginia, a new Customs Border Protection agent training facility. So we see that this administration and the Department of Homeland Security very serious about sealing the border and the mass deportation operation. And though the people on the left may, cry foul, there's no foul being had. This is something that, just like if any of us travel to another country, you'd have to have either a visa or a passport, both. You know, how long are you going to be here, that kind of thing. You know, you can't just come into a country without having the proper documents. It's just the way it is. It's great to see legal immigrants come to our country. And yeah, it's all part of the way it is. My grandpa, he's from Cuba. That's why I have the last name Alvarez. So it's just part of the way it is. But I was born in this country, a legal citizen, of course. You've got all the paperwork you need. But the point is, we're for legal immigration. Anyway, switching gears back to Harper's Ferry, West Virginia, and Oklahoma. The reason why I want to give a shout out to those two great states, and trust me, I love all of the states out there. I've been to most of them. Still have a few on the list to go to. But West Virginia and Oklahoma, all red. Every county voting for President Trump in both of those states. So if you live in Tulsa, or if you live in Harper's Ferry, or in Charleston, West Virginia, or wherever you're from in those two states, shout out to you guys. Also, shout out to all of the swing states and all of the states that said, you know what, we're voting for the right side of history, or voting for President Donald J. Trump. If you live in a blue state, I know it's tough because you look at places like New York, right? New York City versus upstate New York, a lot more, and Long Island and Staten Island. There's a lot of Republican red going on there when it comes to voting for President Trump. And then you look at portions of California, big time MAGA country in spots. I know it's not easy to live in a blue state, but hopefully what will happen is more people will come to the right side of history and become more aware of all the lies that they've been brainwashed with the mainstream media. Anyway, let's shift it down a few notches here and just enjoy the fact that this is July 4th, 2025. It is Independence Day, 249th Independence Day for our country. Proud to be an American, proud as all get out to be an American, to be in the land of the free, and to listen to songs like from the late Toby Keith, Made in America. I've been listening to that song for the past couple days. If you have Pandora or Apple Music or Spotify, wherever you listen to your music, or if you just want to go to various sites, whether it's X or YouTube, Rumble, that kind of thing, type in Toby Keith, Made in America. Just a great song, a great song. I love it so much. And courtesy of the red, white, and blue and all of that from Toby. And we do miss him, and also people like Rush Limbaugh, you know, two great patriots. But thank God that we have people that are really carrying that torch into the future of freedom for our nation. And we see that with the outsider himself, the commander-in-chief, the common sense leader, President Trump. So yeah, hey, we're on the same team. Those of you on the right side of history, in the sense of the majority of the country that are common sense Americans that say, I love God, I love family, I love country. I'm one of those guys. I know a lot of you are out there watching as well. And I believe there are some, I mean, if you are an actual Democrat, if there are any regular Democrats out there, if you know what I mean, not extremists, you know, hopefully even the extreme ones can see the light one of these days. But, you know, it really is great to be an American. It really is. The Constitution, some 249 years ago, 1776, it's just great to be a part of this land. And we're going to be seeing the president here in just a minute. Let's go to a couple sponsors as we await the president. AngelPace.com out of Spring, Texas, of course. You can use an RSBN promo code. You got the product right there, but there's a number of products as well as you check out AngelPace.com, as it's one of our great sponsors. We have a number of great partners here at Right Side Broadcasting Network, as it's 5:07 Eastern Time. Here on July 4th. A shout out to those of you watching in the Central Time Zone, Mountain Time Zone, and out there in the Pacific Time Zone. Thanks so much for streaming in here on Right Side Broadcasting Network. A lot of great sponsors to thank and talk about. As you guys know, we only go to a few commercial breaks where there aren't very long commercials. So what we do here at Right Side is, of course, as hosts and anchors, correspondents, reporters, we just talk about the actual, you know, the partnership and some of the products, of course, that are all great that we're seeing here at the network. So, all right, live there. And look at that bottom right corner there. You see the red, white, and blue, America, the American flag there, the United States American flag that was just put up there, a week ago? So it's awesome to see that in the wind right there, as this is the President and the First Lady participating any minute now in the military family picnic. So we'll go to that as soon as we hear any music happening or any kind of just live event. And wherever you're watching again right now, I hope that there's at least a couple places that are watching, whether it's at a store. Like the other day, a buddy of mine down in Florida, they said that at one of the Trump stores, they play Right Side Broadcasting Network. So if that's you, the Trump store down in Florida, I think it's, forget the location specifically, but thank you guys for watching. And if you're watching at maybe a picnic or something, hey, I wish I could take the tie off and join you there and have a burger, you know what I mean? But I do like being here and bringing this to all of you guys here on Right Side Broadcasting Network. As soon as we see President Trump and the First Lady, I'll stop talking and we'll go right there. Trust me, I want to see this whole event happen, including the U.S. Air Force jets flying over the White House. Now, Carolyn Levitt on X and Truth Social said this about the big, beautiful bill just the other day. President Trump's one big, beautiful bill delivers on the common sense agenda that nearly 80 million Americans voted for, the largest middle-class tax cut in history, permanent border security, massive military funding, and restoring fiscal sanity. The pro-growth policies within this historic legislation are going to fuel an economic boom like we've never seen before. President Trump looks forward to signing the one big, beautiful bill into law to officially usher in the golden age of America. That from the press secretary, Carolyn Levitt, who maybe next week there will be a press conference. Of course, you can watch that kind of thing live right here on Right Side. So if you'd like, during just this moment here, all of your friends and family that you know are Trump supporters or Republicans or on the right side of history or the majority of the country, if you'd like, maybe send the link from Rumble or wherever you're watching right now and just send it to as many people as you know. Just text it over to them and say, hey, why don't you watch this? The president's about to sign the one big, beautiful bill. And then tonight, we'll see the president and the first lady just enjoying the fireworks there at the White House. So depending what time it is where you are watching, maybe you will still be able to watch your local fireworks and then still watch us here on Right Side and watch the fireworks with us. So, hey, you got to watch. I don't want to be here by myself watching the fireworks. You know what I mean? Come on now. Kidding aside. But looking forward to seeing my family a little bit this weekend. A lot this weekend, of course, but a little bit later was what I was trying to say.
No, Trump się spóźnia. No, powinno się wszystko zacząć o 5:00. Więc no nie, to jest historyczny moment, także poczekamy może, ale tutaj wpisaliście mi informację, że jest powódź w Teksasie. Tak, dzisiaj to przed rano, praktycznie rzecz biorąc, mamy do tej pory olbrzymią powódź w Teksasie. Woda w ciągu chyba godziny w Guadalupe River podniosła się o 22 fity, czyli ile to będzie? 22 fity to jakieś 6 metrów. I zalała ludzi, którzy piknikowali właśnie ze względu na 4th of July. Zobaczcie. Także no, dzieją się rzeczy na świecie dziwne. Ta burza, ten sztorm przyszedł nagle. Podobno. Nikt się tak nie spodziewał tego. Manipulacja pogodą, wiemy. Więc no, dużo ludzi zaginęło, prawdopodobnie nie żyją. Czekajcie. Jak słyszę ten dźwięk, muzykę, to prawdopodobnie myślę, że coś się będzie zaczynało, więc wrócimy z powrotem tutaj do Trumpa i do Białego Domu. Z tego, co ten komentator mówił, to gra w tej chwili orkiestra US Navy, czyli marynarki wojennej. Ja widzę, że tutaj na czacie macie dyskusję. No jest też dużo nienawiści. Jest dużo tych keyboard warriors, którzy boją się cokolwiek powiedzieć, ale piszą pod jakimiś swoimi nickami. Słuchajcie, no nieważne w tej chwili co myślicie o Trumpie, ważne co Trump zrobi. Jeżeli zaczną się aresztowania, jeżeli dokona tego, co obiecał, no to chyba wszyscy będziecie happy, szczęśliwi, nie? Natomiast jeżeli nie, no to wszyscy będziemy na niego wylewać pomyje, bo zdradził. Ja wiem, że wielu z was myśli, że on zdradził. No ja też zaczynam się w tym kierunku posuwać, ale daję mu jeszcze tą szansę aresztowań. Jeżeli nie będzie aresztowań, to nie mamy o czym mówić. Nie? Trzymak 77, święta prawda, Andy. No słuchajcie, no to tak, tam nie jest tak prosto być na takim piedestale. Kurczę, no chciałem dla was przetłumaczyć tego. Myślałem, że Trump będzie mówił o 5:00, potem trochę potłumaczę i skończymy to, ale no, to zawsze coś takiego, zawsze on się spóźnia. Wczoraj zrobiłem program z tej Iowa i przyspieszył. Był wcześniej, pojawił się tam i zaczął mówić. Czekajcie. Ja będę to monitorował na innym ekranie. Natomiast wrócimy może do generała Flynna tutaj, bo to, co on mówi, jest właśnie ważne. To jest odpowiedź dla tych wszystkich was niedowiarków, którzy już wszystkie pomyje wylewają na Trumpie. Ja bym chciał widzieć, jak byście wylewali pomyje, żeby była Kamala Harris czy Joe Biden. Nie wylewaliście, bo albo macie lewackie... Czekajcie, kurde, widzicie, chyba będę się trzymał jednak tego programu.
If you'd like to see that post, of course, just X or on Truth Social, Carolyn Levitt's account. That just happened just a minute ago. It's a picture, actually, of her holding the big, beautiful bill. So it's ready for signature. It's happening. We're going to see it here together on Right Side Broadcasting Network. In the meantime, let's look at some of the Truth Social posts from President Trump. As of right now, a lot of videos earlier just about July 4th. Let's go live now to Washington.
Ladies and gentlemen, the President of the United States and First Lady Melania Trump.
Słyszeliście, przeleciały samoloty.
Ladies and gentlemen, the President of the United States and First Lady Melania Trump. Ladies and gentlemen, Master Gunnery Sergeant Kevin Benier, accompanied by the President's own United States Marine Band, will now honor America with the singing of our national anthem, followed by a flyover consisting of a B-2 Spirit bomber from Whiteman Air Force Base, escorted by 2 F-35 fighters in honor of all our military personnel who participated in Operation Midnight Hammer and who are currently serving both home and abroad, protecting our nation's freedom.
At the twilight's last gleam.
ladies and gentlemen, the President of the United States and First Lady Melania Trump.
Well, thank you very much, and that is some sight, especially after what happened just a week ago. When you look at that big, beautiful plane, and the other ones were something. It was an incredible mission, and I think I can say very proudly, and I don't have to quote the polls, that our country is more proud right now than it's been in many, many years. We have pride, we have dignity, we have something that's happened miraculously so fast. You know that our military now is the most sought after job there's ever been, serving in our military. 1 year ago, people didn't want to join our military. They didn't want to join our police, our firefighters. They didn't want to join anything having to do with our country. And now, as you probably know, the enlistment is at an all-time record. We're packed. We're full. And I just think that's so important because that was so sad 1 year ago when I heard those statistics. We had a different president, but nobody wanted to join, and now we're at a record. And I will say that I just left NATO, where we had a tremendous experience. They've agreed to put up over $1 trillion a year. They went from less than 2% to 5%, and nobody thought that was possible. And they told me very strongly, the leaders of a big part of the world, very respected people all, they told me that, 1 year ago your country was dead, and now you have the hottest country anywhere in the world. So that's the way it is, and that's the way we like it. And it's only going to get hotter, I promise you that. After that spectacular display of American power, let me just say that God bless the United States military, and God bless the USA. God bless the USA. And to all Americans, I want to wish you a very happy Independence Day, happy 4th of July. This is going to be something special. This spirit in this country, we haven't seen anything like it in many, many years, in decades. Let me also express our gratitude to our magnificent First Lady. She worked very hard to make this all work. And we have a fireworks display about 9 o'clock tonight. I hope you're all going to be around and watch it. I know our congressmen and our senators who are standing right here, so many of them, they did such a great job. They're going to be here. I guarantee you, they're not leaving. They're not leaving. Thanks as well to the National Park Service, the USO, and countless friends and distinguished guests. We have so many people in the audience that have so much to do with the success of our country. We've, I think, had probably the most successful almost 6 months as a president and the presidency. I think they're saying it was the best 6 months, and I know for a fact they're saying the last 2 weeks there has never been anything like it as far as winning, winning, winning. So as you know, 2 weeks ago, our incredible Air Force pilots conducted one of the most successful military strikes in all of history, Operation Midnight Hammer, and that's exactly what it was. It was a hammer. This evening, we're honored to be joined by 150 airmen and their families from Whiteman Air Force Base in Missouri, home of the B-2 bomber. And we've kept them a little bit on guard. We kept them a little bit, let's be a little bit quiet about it. But if you want to raise your hand very quickly, raise your hand, because you people are just incredible. They don't want to be in disguise. They say, we don't have to do that. They're looking at us like we're a bunch of babies. We don't have to be in disguise. We saw all those hands go up. Thank you very much. We owe you everything. Great job. Incredible. Just flawless. One of the most flawless military campaigns in the history of our country. If you remember years ago, they had helicopters crashing into each other. It was a disaster, the hostages in Iran. And we had just the opposite. We didn't have any crashes. We didn't lose any planes. We didn't lose anybody. Those beautiful planes that you saw were totally stealth. They flew right over the center of a very hostile country. and they never even saw it coming. And then they said, skedaddle. They dropped the bombs. They said, skedaddle. And that big sucker turned over like this on its side, and it got out of there. Well, I'll tell you what, how they do that, but they can do it. I asked our great General Kane, how do they do that? Do they really love doing that? Look at them, they're all laughing. And they said, do they really like doing it, sir? They can't wait. Better you than me. That's all I can say. It was a flawless mission. Every single bomb hit, and it was total obliteration. Total obliteration. Now, even the fake news is admitting that. They hated to admit it, but they had no choice. That was an incredible thing, and these heroic pilots showed our enemies what it means to fly, fight, and win. To every service member who supported that mission, and we have many of them here, we've made we've made you proud by supporting, but you've made us even prouder by having the courage to get in those gorgeous machines and fly through the roughest airspace anywhere in the world. And we salute you and we honor you. Thank you very much for being here. Thank you. And we're also honored and delighted to be joined by hundreds of service members and military families. Those families are the best we have, from all across the U.S. Armed Forces, Army, Navy, Air Force, Space Force. I love the Space Force. You know why? Because we're the ones that did it. It's turned out to be a very invaluable force, actually. The Coast Guard and the Marines are incredible people. On behalf of our entire nation, this 4th of July, we thank you for keeping America safe, strong, sovereign, and free. Thank you very much for being here. Great honor. And stick around for the fireworks. And our country's had so much to celebrate this Independence Day. As we enter our 249th year, America is winning, winning, winning like never before. We're not, I'll tell you, we're in a category now that's where we've wanted to be for a long time. We suffered with 4 horrible years of embarrassment. Afghanistan may be the most embarrassing moment in the history of our country. We're never going to let a thing like that happen again. Trillions of dollars are pouring into the United States for investment purposes. Almost $15 trillion. There's never been anything like it. There's never been anything even close. The stock market's at an all-time high. Jobs are at an all-time high. Everything's at an all-time high, and we're going to keep it that way. We have the greatest country in the world, and we're back. We're back like nobody thought possible this quickly. I thought it would take maybe a year, maybe 2 years, maybe even 3. And we did it in less than 6 months. So we are back and strong. We've restored American strength and deterrence on the world stage. We're respected again. The world is respecting us again. When we did NATO, those leaders came up to me and they said, you know what, we're going to go to a new level of spending because you're requesting it, sir. They didn't talk to you last president like that, I can tell you. They didn't spend any money. They didn't spend anything. In a few moments, we're going to make official the greatest victory yet when I signed the one big, beautiful bill. And before I start, I want to tell you that I've never seen people so happy in our country because of that, because so many different groups of people are being taken care of, the military and civilians of all types, jobs of all types. We're adding things like the biggest tax cut in the history of our country, child tax credits. So many things are being added that we wouldn't even have time to discuss them. When we were doing it, John Thune and Mike Johnson right there, I see Mike, what a job they've done. What a job they've done. But you know, it was supposed to be in 3, 4, 5, 6, or 7 different bills. And I was on one of the fake news shows and I said, let's do it in one beautiful, big, we want one big, beautiful bill. I said that to this newscaster, and I think a lot of the congressmen and senators were watching, and they said, let's name the bill that, the one big, beautiful bill. And that's what we did. And what we've done is put everything into one bill. It's never happened before. It's the biggest bill of its type in history. We've never had anything like that before. Nothing like that they thought would be possible to get passed. And actually, I liked it because we had so much in there that no matter who you are, there was something in that bill that would make your congressman or your senator or your congresswoman, much more importantly, raise their hand and support, right, Lisa? So that was something, and it was really something special. So the American people gave us a historic mandate in November. We won everything. We won the swing states, all 7 swing states. We won every one. That rarely happens. We won the popular vote. We won the districts, 2,750 to 505. That's why when you look at a map, it's all red, a little blue on each end, but it's all red. And by the way, red means Republican, just in case. But we made promises, and it's really promises made, promises kept, and we've kept them. This is a triumph of democracy on the birthday of democracy, and I have to say that the people are happy. They're happy. And I listened to a broadcast, and I read a couple of articles. They have the Democrats, they should have voted for it. They didn't vote for tax cuts. They didn't vote for taking care of people. They didn't vote, not one vote. And we knew that because their hatred of either the country or me or both is so great. They didn't vote at all, and it's terrible. But I just have to say, they have a routine. It's terrible, they say. Terrible, terrible. You saw that guy standing up for hours yesterday. He didn't know what he was even doing there. I say, when's he sitting down? He had a towel. He's wiping his face. That's not too elegant. But what is he? I said, what is he doing for so long? And he couldn't criticize the bill. He was criticizing everyone else and everything else. So they've developed, and this is according to the news media, they've developed a standard line, and we can't let them get away with it. Oh, it's dangerous. Oh, everybody's going to die. It's actually just the opposite. Everybody's going to live. This is just the opposite. And I just want you to know, if you see anything negative put out by Democrats, it's all a con job. And they said, and they compared it to just like the con job of Russia, 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 and all of the other things they did. The 51 intelligence agents said, and the laptop from hell, it came from Russia, they said. No, it didn't come. A lot of things come from Russia. That didn't come from Russia. And it was all proven out to be a fake job, and that's what they're doing with this. So we just have to look forward, fellas, look forward and just say what it is, because it's the most popular bill ever signed in the history of our country. Whether you're military or anybody else, this is the most popular bill ever signed. And it includes the largest tax cut in American history, the largest spending cut, $1.7 trillion. And yet you won't even notice it. Just waste, fraud, and abuse in American history. So you have the biggest tax cut, the biggest spending cut, the largest border security investment in American history. We want to have strong borders. And the only thing is, we want to have great elections, too. You need strong borders and elections. And my people have promised me that we're going to go into elections, and we're going to make sure they're not rigged, that they're not sullied. We're going to make sure that the elections are going to be fair. You need 2 things. You need strong borders, and you need fair elections. Now, we're going to make sure on the elections also, and our armed forces are one of the most vital military modernizations of all time. It will take place. So we rebuilt our military in our first term, and now we're going to modernize and remodernize our military, including building a great golden dome all over our land, so that if they get nasty with us, it's going to be knocked down. It's going to make any of the golden domes, they call them the iron domes, we're calling ours the golden dome, because we did the iron domes, and we do sort of everything, if you want to know the truth, but this blows it away. We're going to keep you safe. I want to thank every member of the House and Senate who worked to get this bill on my desk, and many of them are here, and I'm not going to mention all their names because we'll be standing here, but I have to mention a few. And especially I want to thank Vice President J.D. Vance, who's been fantastic, Secretary of State Marco Rubio, who's been incredible. We have somebody that it was a passion. I think he actually loved it. It wasn't easy, but he loved it. Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson, who's right here. Speaker, thank you very much. What a job, and he worked so closely with the Senate Majority Leader, John Thune, who's a fantastic guy. And those two are a team that is not going to be beat. When you look at them and you look at their counterparts on the other side, it's not even close. I want to thank both of you people for doing an incredible job. Thank you very much, John and Mike. House Majority Leader Steve Scalise, a brave man. Steve, you know, he suffered a tragedy a number of years ago. I was at his hospital bedside that night with Melania, with our First Lady, and he had no chance. The doctor said he has very little chance, and you look better today than you did then. You didn't look particularly good that night, I will say. But I learned one thing. His beautiful wife loved him. She was a disaster, right? I told him, I said, Steve, I can only tell you one thing. I was with your family and I was with your wife, and your wife was devastated. She loves you. I've seen a lot of wives that, you know, they don't seem to be so concerned in those situations. That's the kind of wife you don't want. But you have a great, beautiful wife who was really there, and you really have done. You're a very brave guy, and Mike and John and everybody that's standing with you knows it. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. House Majority Whip, this is a guy who is great. When I have a problem, I call him up, and he gets it done. He's a tough cookie. I don't know why he's not the governor of Minnesota. He comes from Minnesota. He's like, oh, look, he goes, no, I don't want to run for governor. You know, come to think of it, I think that's a good idea. You would win so easily. The guy is terrible. You would win. You just have to take a look at that handsome face of yours, and you'd win. Tom Emmer, everybody. He did a great job. I think you should consider that, although we don't want to lose him, do we? We don't want to. Let's say we are. I think say we are. What a job you did. And Senate Majority Whip John Barrasso, who's incredible. Senate Finance Chairman Mike Crapo. Thank you, Mike. What a job. What a job. He knows that tax stuff. Him and Jason, they really know their stuff. Senate Budget Committee Chairman Lindsey Graham. What a good man he is. I see a poll. He's running, and I see a poll. He's 24 points up. That's not bad, Lindsey. That's not bad. 24 points up in the great state of South Carolina. House Ways and Means Chairman Jason Smith. What a job. Thank you, Jason. Thank you. These people are great. These are great patriots. I have to call them out. House Budget Committee Chairman Jody Arrington. Jody, thank you very much. Jody has been good right from the beginning, and so many others, and they're all here, and they fully understand. They'll never speak to me again, but that's okay. It is what it is. But I just want to thank everybody. A lot of senators here, a lot of congressmen and women here. Lisa, thank you very much, by the way. I have to thank you. Thank you very much. You've been fantastic. So this bill will fuel massive economic growth and lift up the hardworking citizens who make this country run. The factory workers, farmers, mechanics, waiters, waitresses, police officers, firefighters, coal miners. Coal is back. Beautiful. I said you can't use the word coal unless you precede it by saying clean, beautiful coal. China's right now building 68 coal generating plants, and we're putting up wind. It doesn't work, I will tell you. Aside from ruining our fields and our valleys and killing all the birds and being very weak and very expensive, all made in China. You know, I noticed something, that with all of the windmills that China sends us, where we waste our money because it's the most expensive energy, I see that, they make about 95% of them, the wind turbines. I have never seen a wind farm in China. Why is that? Somebody check that out. Tom Emmer, would you please check that out? But all the coal miners we love and the truck drivers, in this act, we have officially made the Trump tax cuts permanent. That's the largest tax cut in the history of our country, added to substantial other cuts, which is you're going to see like a rocket ship. We're setting all sorts of economic records right now, and that's before this kicks in. After this kicks in, our country is going to be a rocket ship economically, and we've delivered no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, and no tax on Social Security for our great seniors. And that's why when you hear things like that, this is it's the biggest bill of its kind ever done by far, but we are going to have a situation, we are going to have something where people are going to realize the level of success and popularity of this bill. And sort of to close it out, it makes the child tax credit permanent for 40 million American families, and to increase the car affordability. It makes interest on a new car payment. So this had never happened before. You buy a car, you borrow money, you're allowed to deduct for income tax purposes your payment of interest. You're allowed to deduct it. It's never happened before. So run out and buy a car. But I have to tell you, it's only good, Mike, if it's made in America. If it's made in another country, you don't get it. And to protect 2 million family farms and other small businesses, we're eliminating the estate tax or the death tax. So if you want to leave your farm or your small business, but the farms are really, they have been devastated, to your children, if you love your children. By the way, if you don't love your children, don't even listen to what I'm saying. It doesn't matter. But if you love, would you live? Yes, I think you love your child. This one loves Barron. So I don't know if we're a small business. I think we're not. I'm not sure that we qualify. I'm sorry, darling. But, you know, it was devastating. Farmers, they had to go out and borrow money. And by the way, is that Pam Bondi? Pam Bondi, raise your hand. Thank you, Pam, for being here. Attorney General, she's done an incredible job. So there won't be any, think of this, there won't be any death tax. You're not going to have to go borrow money. Your parents pass away and the farm goes into the bank's hands and gets foreclosed. That's not going to happen. And with 100% expensing for new investments, we're cutting taxes for every manufacturer who builds, expands. And we have expansion at the highest level that we've ever had it. We have hundreds of factories, including car plants and AI. It's coming into our country at levels that we've never seen. And to conclude, not only will we have the strongest economy on earth, we're also going to have the strongest borders on earth. And last month, did you see the number? 0 people crossed our border. 0 illegal people. And that's after Joe Biden let 21 million people, many of them people from gangs and prisons and drug lords and people that were mentally unbalanced, they let them into our country. We're getting them out at record numbers, and we have an obligation to, and we're doing it. So as we approach the 250th anniversary of America's founding exactly 1 year from now, we are creating an economy that delivers wealth for the middle class, a border that is sovereign and secure, and a military that is unmatched, unequaled anywhere in the world. And you saw that. And what a beautiful sight that was, especially after watching what they did just a short while ago. The golden age of America is upon us. We are in the golden age. It's going to be a period of time, the likes of which I don't think this country has ever experienced before. We're going to make America great again, and it's happening very fast. We love you. We thank you for being here. Enjoy the fireworks tonight. And First Lady, I want to thank you. You have been unbelievable. You think it's easy being First Lady? It's not. Thank you all very much. Happy 4th of July. God bless you all. Thank you very much, everybody. We're going to sign the bill now.
this is the gavel we use to enact the big, beautiful bill, and I want you to have that for your
Are we ready? We're ready. Are you ready? Yeah. Have a good time, Hi, Marge. There you go. 28 points. It's a lot of points.
Good job.
Richard back here.
Yes, absolutely. And we have some more. We'll give you some more. Our great first lady. Come here.
Oh, yeah, you would have worked me in.
Scott.
Congratulations. I'll let you hold the gavel. I don't know if I should do that, honey.
Now you got to go in. Get the gavel.
You're very trusting.
Give that guy a
Implement
raise.
it now.
Give that guy a raise.
Thank you very much, everybody. And I want to thank the people up here. They're unbelievable people. Mary, hi, Mary. How's Scott doing? Good job? Scott, how's the economy? Okay?
Wonderful job.
Going to get better.
From South Carolina.
It's been amazing. Thank you very much, everybody. Have a good time. Happy 4th of July.
Happy 4th.
I'm not so sure that's a good idea. You got a good doctor.
He weighs about 20 pounds. That's a big bill.
Mr. President. Mr. President. No, Mr. President.
Okay, thumbs up.
just trying to find, raise a daughter and a son, get a loving to their heart, everything to everyone, up in that ride, all business in my suit, I'm dressed up for success, from my head down to my boots.
Well, I don't do it for the money, there's bills that I can't pay. I don't do it for the glory, I just do it anyway. Providing for my future, my responsibility. Yeah, I'm real good under pressure, being all that I can be. I can't call it sick on Mondays when the weekend's been too strong. I just work straight through the holidays. Sometimes I'm not alone. You can bet that I stand ready when the wolf growls at the door. Hey, I'm silent, hey, I'm steady, and I'm true down to the core. Now I'll always take my duty, no matter what the price. I've counted up the cost, I know the sacrifice. I don't wanna die for you, but at times that's to me. I'll bear that cross with honor, 'cause freedom don't come free. American soldiers in America, beside my brothers and my sisters, I will gladly take a stand. When liberty's in jeopardy, I will always do what's right. Oh, we're on the front line, singing peace and love. American soldier, I'm an American soldier. American soldier in America, beside my brothers and my sisters, I will probably take a stand. When liberty's in jeopardy, I will always do what's right. Oh, here on the front line.
No, będziemy chyba kończyć. Tu w Białym Domu uściski, przywitania. No widzicie, każdy się chce dostać do Trumpa. Co będzie? Zobaczymy. Ta ustawa jest olbrzymią wersją tej pierwszej ustawy za pierwszej kadencji Trumpa. I słuchajcie, wy możecie sobie gadać co chcecie, możecie sobie mieć jakiekolwiek teorie, jakie chcecie. Czym bardziej jesteście lewaccy, tym nienawidzicie takich ustaw, które przeprowadzają konserwatyści. Ale ja na własnej skórze odczułem te ulgi podatkowe Trumpa i wielu Amerykanów i wiele firm. Firma, której pracuję, odczuła te ulgi podatkowe. Mogliśmy kupić brand new, nowiutkie ciężarówki, maszyny, tam jeszcze innych dużo rzeczy w ogóle, no rozwinęło się wszystko. Szłoby jeszcze bardziej, żeby nie ta covidioza, nie? Także zobaczymy, nie? Zobaczymy, czy to pozwoli Stanom Zjednoczonym podnieść się na nogi i pójść dalej w lepszą przyszłość, czy też no, jakieś kolejne wojenki, czy sprowokowanie jakichś wojen może doprowadzić do tego, że no, będziemy mieli klapę w całym świecie. Nie? Ale dobrze, powiedzcie, czy chcecie, żebym jeszcze może na końcu przetłumaczył te kilka minut generała Flynna, bo ja może zacznę od początku, bo wtedy nam to przeszkodziło. Czekaj, tylko wyciszę tutaj głos. Będę patrzył na monitorze, co się dzieje, bo nigdy nie wiadomo, co się tam koło Trumpa dzieje. Na razie widzę, że się nic ciekawego nie dzieje. ale czy chcecie, czy będziemy kończyć? Bo ja już jestem, słuchajcie, 4 godziny z Sławkiem i Bronią, teraz ponad godzinę, też jestem trochę już padnięty, ale to ważne, jak chcecie, to oczywiście jak mówicie po angielsku, to znajdźcie sobie to na X-ie Alexa Jonesa, ten wywiad. On ma 32 minuty, ja całego nie będę tłumaczył, bo to zajmie kolejną godzinę. Natomiast możemy te pierwsze kilka minut przetłumaczyć. Nie? Wtedy zacząłem to, ale nie, może zaczniemy to od początku. Nie? Zobaczymy, czy będziemy mieli głos.
What needs to be done here?
Tak jest, mamy głos. Dobra, to zaczniemy to od początku.
What needs to be done here?
I would pull my team in, the close, trusted personal advisors he has, and I would say something along the lines of, look, we just crushed the Iranian nuclear program and set them back 10 years, let's say.
Tutaj Alex się pyta, co tu trzeba zrobić, generała Flynna, a Flynn odpowiada, zebrałbym swój zespół takich najbardziej zaufanych, osobistych doradców, których tam, mówię o Trumpie, żeby Trump zebrał, i powiedziałbym im coś w tym stylu, spójrzcie, właśnie zmiażdżyliśmy irański program nuklearny i cofnęliśmy ich tam 10 lat do tyłu.
Want this team to crush the deep state, just like we just crushed the Iranian nuclear program.
I słuchajcie, to jest bardzo ważne, co powiedział Flynn. Tak a propos, Flynn i Trump się trochę odsunęli ostatnio, ale może się w tej chwili zbliżą. Ja wiem, że Trump oferował Flynnowi wiele stanowisk. Flynn nie chciał podejmować żadnych, nie chciał współpracować w tej chwili z Trumpem, ale możliwe, że się w tej chwili zbliżył. I powiedział coś takiego, że właśnie chcę, żeby ten zespół razem połączony zmiażdżył Deep State, tak jak właśnie zmiażdżyliśmy irański program nuklearny.
But I want the setback to be forever. So we have got to come up with some ideas right now to massively shut down, agencies, organizations, maybe whole departments, get rid of a whole bunch of people. And we also have to, and I would be looking right at my attorney general and probably at the director of national intelligence and saying, you two work together. And I would direct both of those individuals to come to me with a plan, I'd give them maybe 72 hours. And I'd say, I want a plan for an investigation. And then I want to see some indictments.
Więc słuchajcie, Flynn się naprawdę rozkręcił i to właśnie o to nam chodzi. O to chodzi patriotom amerykańskim. On tutaj mówi, że jak już rozwalimy ten deep state, to tak jak ta rozwałka tego irańskiego programu nuklearnego, tam cofnęła ich, tak jak mówił Flynn, 10 lat, nie wiadomo, czy to prawda, czy nieprawda, ale prawdopodobnie coś tam cofnęła, to on chce, żeby rozwalenie tego deep state'u trwało wiecznie, indefinitely, tak powiedział, nie? Więc czy tam forever, nie? Więc powiedział, że trzeba takie stworzyć pomysły, żeby masowo pozamykać różne rządowe agencje. Zobaczcie, Trump zamyka Urząd Edukacji tutaj u nas i są oczywiście sprzeciwy, ale wyobraźcie sobie, że żeby u was ktoś wpadł na pomysł, żeby zamknąć Ministerstwo Edukacji i tą jak ona się nazywa? Nawadzka, czy tam Nawocka, która chce wprowadzić edukację, jak się nakłada prezerwatywę na banana dla dzieci, żeby ją zamknąć, nie? Na przykład. To byłoby świetnie, nie? Więc u nas coś się robi. U was wy musicie dojść do tego i zacząć też rozwalać tą trzecią RP, nie? Ale wróćmy tutaj do Flynna. On mówi, żeby zamknąć tę agencję i wyrzucić masę ludzi, tych darmozjadów, biurokratów. W Polsce też by to się przydało. I teraz powiedział, że coś takiego, że jak dobrze pamiętam, że trzeba teraz też mówi, że Trump musi wziąć tam za fraki prokuratora generalnego, czyli Pam Bondi, i prawdopodobnie dyrektora wywiadu narodowego, czyli drugą kobietę, tą Tulsi Gabbard, nie? I Flynn mówi, że powiedziałbym do nich, że jako Trump, że polecił, żeby współpracowały z sobą razem i przyszły do mnie z planem takim, żebym w 72 godziny przeprowadził dochodzenie i potem przedstawił akty oskarżenia. Tu chodzi o aresztowania, czyli 72 godziny, oni prawdopodobnie mają te wszystkie akty. To wszystko jest, tylko to trzeba ruszyć, nie? A Flynn tam siedzi na najwyższych półkach, on wie, o czym mówi. Nie? Posłuchajmy dalej.
I want to see some people brought in for questioning right now. This is good versus evil. And we better know, we better understand right now that if we don't take the evidence, if we don't take the information that we are getting, and the American people are standing there like me right now, we're standing or we're sitting and we're saying, please, Mr. President, take action.
Więc tutaj on mówi, żeby przesłuchać kilka osób od razu, bo tu mamy walkę dobra ze złem i najlepiej jakbyśmy zrozumieli, że jeśli nie przyjmiemy tych dowodów i nie przyjmiemy tej informacji, które otrzymujemy, to Amerykanie będą postawieni w bardzo złej sytuacji. I teraz, tak jak tutaj siedzę, proszę, panie prezydencie, podejmij działania. Wiecie, wchodzimy.
Visionary, you really.
Teraz wchodzimy w cały wywiad. Ja już nie mam siły tłumaczyć, ale to o to chodzi tutaj, nie? O to chodzi, żeby po prostu złapać za ryjki tych wszystkich zdrajców i po prostu ich posadzić, nie? Bo oglądnijcie sobie ten program. On tutaj to tak gdzieś do 3/4 mówi Flynn o tym. To na początku to był taki ekstrakt tego, nie? I to chyba byłoby wszystko na dzisiaj. Jeszcze poczytam wasze wpisy. Krzysztof Popławski-Nawrocki już pokazał swoimi nominacjami, że będzie kontynuacja trzeciej RP. No tak, no przecież to popis, no to kurczę, tam nic się nie zmieni. Musicie wybrać kogoś, kto tam rozwali wszystko. No wiecie, my mamy chociaż nadzieję, że Trump może to rozwalić. Z Kamalą Harris czy Bidenem takiej nadziei w ogóle nie było. Świat się zmienia, wszystko się zmienia, nic nie stoi w miejscu, więc na pewno będzie inaczej. Już jest inaczej, nie? Więc miejmy nadzieję, że wszystko zakończy się dobrze dla ludzi. Przede wszystkim, nawet jak byście psioczyli na Trumpa i wywalali największe jakieś tam pomyje, że jest na sznurku Netanyahu i tak dalej, nie? Ale zobaczcie, na Bliskim Wschodzie się już nie zabijają ludzie, nie giną. Gaza ma tam skończyć się walka w Gazie do 2 tygodni. Podobno Netanyahu się zgodził. Teraz i Hamas się podobno zgodził. Tutaj otrzymałem jakąś wiadomość, jak byłem na live'ie Breaking News, że Hamas tam zaakceptował chyba te Amerykanów propozycję. Więc najważniejsze jest to, żeby się ludzie nie zabijali. Dzieci, żeby nie ginęły przede wszystkim. Tak jak to było w Gazie. No i żeby te wojny się nie eskalowały, żeby wszyscy żyli w pokoju i szczęściu. Trzymajcie się i do następnego razu.